I talked about the starting lineup. It is Scott Parker, Chris Dingman, Dave Reid, and now we've got Parker and Brashear ready to go. We anticipated this would happen, but the linesmen are stepping before.
Boy, that's a mistake.
And nothing happens.
I got to tell you, that's a mistake. They may as well let them go right away and get it over with, because the coaching staff's put on the heavyweights here. Parker's out, Brashear's out, Jovanovski's out, Dingman's out, and with all the history between these two teams, why not look at Jack Barker, he can't believe it either. Why not let them go, get it over with, and then they can play hockey? Now this thing is still alive. These two are going right from the get-go. There they are. The gloves are off. They're ready to go. And I don't get it. I mean, you're better off getting it over with. And then these two teams will play hockey the rest of the night. Now I'm not so sure.
Well, of course, and
here they come out of the box. There is the linesman on the sideboards, watching them. They're going to talk. They're going to talk some more. And they want to go. And here comes the linesman. I mean, again, I think this will just keep on going. Now they're out again. Like, this could have been all over with the first shift of the game, and we could have watched a hockey game. Now we got this distraction going on. I don't like it.
Darren Gibbs and Mark Weller are the two linesmen. There they go now. Now Parker and Brashear are ready to go, and this time they are going to go. Brashear lands a couple of good left hands. Parker flailing away with his right. Brashear still throwing that left hand. Brashear continuing to land the left. And now they tie each other up, and Brashear is trying to get that left hand loose. But I think Donald Brashear landed the greater number of punches in this altercation. The third time that they have attempted to go, and the first time they did get going, and now Brashear landed a couple of more lefts before going to the ice. But I think that decision would go to Brashear.
Well, at least hopefully it's over with. And we can watch a good hockey game. That should have happened right off the first shift, and it wouldn't take them 3 minutes to happen. Now let's
Reid with a shot. Puck bounces high in front of the net. Dingman taken in against the boards by Strudwick. Parker and Peterson battle in the corner. Now Strudwick and Dingman are going at it. This is more of a wrestling match so far along the boards than any real punches being thrown by either man, as they have pretty much tied each other up. Either man able to get a hand free, and now they go down, and the linesman will step in.
Well, this has been a very physical first period of play. You sense that Colorado is trying to really get on the body and wear down the speedy Vancouver Canucks by getting in their face. Yeah, that was a pretty even battle by Strudwick and Dingman, and they just got together in front of the net, and then it carried on over to the sideboards. And Strudwick took Dingman right in and sort of held him, gave him a shot, off came the gloves, and away they went. But at every opportunity so far in this first period.
John Clem has his pass picked off. Henrik Sedin for Clapp, backhand shot, and Long has to hold it. Now we've got Denmarsh and Jovanovski going at it. Remember, on the 1st of November, this is where Jovanovski nailed Denmarsh, put him out of action for 14 games with a concussion, and Jovanovski was really flailing away. Boy, if he would have connected with one of those wicked right-hand uppercuts, Jovanovski might have been out of, or Denmarsh might have been out of action again.
You know, you got to give Denmarsh credit. I mean, he doesn't lose many fights, by the way, Don. Brian Burke told me that he thought that the one fight he's ever seen him lose was the one against Jovanovski the last time around. He's one tough customer. And, you know, to go right back at Jovanovski again after being knocked out cold by him earlier in the season really tells you something. I mean, he's one great guy. And Denmarsh gets the first one, and you're right, Don. If If Jovanovski would have landed like he did in the first fight way back in November, we might have seen this all over again, as this was an ugly fight, and Jovanovski absolutely KO'd Deadmarsh with that one there.
Well, he was throwing similar punches in this scrap, but he didn't connect.
And it's a good thing for Adam Deadmarsh that he didn't.
Well, talking to those associated with the Avalanche, they say that since Deadmarsh came back, he has not been involved in any altercations. He's quite a physical. Strudwick gets there for the icing call.
And a little more pushing and shoving, and here goes DeVries and Brashear. Now, let's not forget Brashear went after DeVries, and that's what really started all this stuff tonight concerning Brashear, because he gave it the old hand wash after he gave DeVries a couple of pokes. And then Parker just went in also. Now, what's going to be the end result of all this, I am not sure. There's Parker. He jumped right in immediately. It doesn't look like there are going to be any calls. We'll wait and see. Face-off will be all the way down as it was icing.
Now Strudwick and Parker bump, and for a moment I thought they were going to go at it.
This may end up to be a free-for-all before it's over. Now the officials are going to take two of them out. That's a good idea. Let them cool off the penalty box. It'll be Parker and Strudwick, I believe. And they're still chirping as they go off. And there's the initial play. DeVries and Brashear. You got to give DeVries credit. I mean, he got dusted up pretty well by Brashear the last time around, and then Parker steps in.
Berg to get back there to pick up quick. Here's DeVries with a shot. That hit a teammate. Reed in the corner trying to get away from Druken at the side of the net. The puck comes free. Now we've got a scrap, and this is Peterson and DeVries going at it up at the blue line. And DeVries lands a couple of good left hands. Now Peterson lands a couple of lefts.
Now DeVries can throw. This is a good middleweight battle. And so can Peterson. I think they're going to get 5 each for that.
Straight in the eye. I want to tell you what a cheap, lying, no good, rocky, floor-pressing, low-life situation.
And they just go at it. A couple of pushes. They're saying drop them, so they do. Oh, there's a pretty good shot by DeVries there.
Peterson initially got in a couple of shots.
Just didn't stay behind the net. The Avs are trailing by 4 goals. They go into a trap. Let them stand in the trap. If they're not going to pursue you, let the time go off the clock. And speaking of time off the clock, you got the two heavyweights going. Grimson and Parker.
These two fought in preseason, and Parker one-punched Grimson to the ice, and they have not dropped the gloves with each other in the regular season. But fighters have long memories. Oh, wow. And again, as we mentioned, if LA gets in and they're the 8 team, they're going to play Colorado in the playoffs. So this can send a message for that series as well.
Tell you one thing, those guys won't be fighting again tonight. They won't have any energy left to fight. That two big heavyweights in a great battle, David.
Well, their teammates appreciate the effort. 8:23 to go here in the third. The Kings.
Nothing LA King lead. Scott Parker in the penalty box. Just had a huge battle with Stu Grimson. That's how it started. There's Parker. Grimson making sure he's protecting his teammates. And away they go. If you want to fight in the National Hockey League, you have to learn how to give a punch, and you have to learn how to take a punch. Because if you can't take a punch, you're not going to be able to answer the bell the next time. And they are some big haymakers thrown by some.
Here with a shot blocked in front. Morrison to the net. Stopped by Patrick Waugh. And the Canucks are all over the Avalanche early in the game, but haven't been able to slide the puck past Petrick, and now some pushing and shoving. And here's Brashear and Scott Parker, the two heavyweights in their respective lineups. They've met before, and they meet again 2 minutes and 16 seconds in.
Well, it's been a little bit of a sleepy start, and I guess the two heavyweights want to wake everyone up, crowd included.
Well, especially Parker for the Avalanche. Couple of big lefts from Donald Brashear. And now they've moved to the center of the ring. Only this fight is over. They've met each other a few times and may meet again.
So you'll see at both ends, if the puck goes in, look for the white towel being waved. And keep an eye here on the face-off of Parker and Larocque. Yep. They're having a lot of talk right in the middle of your screen. You can see them here.
And they're not wasting any time. Here they go. Scott Parker, George Larocque. They were talking, eyeing each other, and now they are sizing each other up.
If I was Randy Mitten, I'd get out of the way there, too.
Now they come together. Parker trying to bull rush George Larocque, knocked them down, and they're still going. Linesman thought about getting into that. Now both guys exchanging blows. Larocque's elbow pad comes off. Parker got the right hand free. So you saw this coming. He had the delay, and it gave him a lot of chance to talk about it. Parker's helmet comes off, and Larocque gets a left, and then both end up on the ice. So two tough guys on these teams going at it early. And they'll both head to the penalty box. Let's take a look at the lineups brought to you. Filling off some time, but that is fine with the Oilers. Horcoff on a big bump, lost his stick. And we've got Steve Staios and Dan Heinold now. And Steve Staios not afraid to get involved, and he has got the right going to the head of Dan Heinold.
Oh, the emotion's going right now. Dan Heinold trying to stick up for his team, and Sean Horcoff got run at, so Staios came in.
Billy Niemanen took a hit, and Niemanen is down and out of the play as the Canucks come back. Bertuzzi couldn't handle the pass, and Niemanen now is up and very groggily heading off to the Colorado bench. And now we've got Bertuzzi and Barry going at it down in the corner in the Colorado zone. And very quickly the linesmen step in, but that all started with a solid hit on Niemanen in the Vancouver zone.
Well, no sooner do we talk about the hatred of these two teams than in fact it happens. A little bit of an elbow. Todd Gill, who jumped into the play. If you notice, there was an odd man rush. It's because Todd Gill had some witty goon talk. He thought it was Jovanovski that had made the questionable hit. And Barry, who takes on Bertuzzi.
Didn't miss by much. Allen at the other point lays it back to the net. Blake had some problems handling it. He races after it, can't get it out, and now we've got a scrap. And we've got Barry and Peterson all set to go, and Barry is landing the blows. Peterson tried to get his right hand free. Now he gets hit with a right hand. This is the second bout of the night for Barry. He went earlier with Bertuzzi.
Peterson is not really known for the ability to throw.
Well, a couple of Prairie boys. Barry from Bertle, Manitoba, and Peterson from Prince Albert going at it, and they'll head off with majors. Quick change. 7 minutes remaining in the hockey game. 4-0. The Canucks lead it. The Canucks have Florida here on Tuesday night. Penalty coming up against the Vancouver Canucks. And this is going to Everybody is squaring off. Messier and Drukin grab each other, and there's Kluche coming out of the net. He's kind of anxious to get into it himself.
Well, I don't think Jovanovski wanted to get involved here. It's unfortunate. He's had such a great game. And Parker, who is known for his fisticuffs, wants to take anyone on. This all started up ice at the blue line with a very dangerous hit by a young player, Ruutu. Probably should have followed the Vancouver system a little bit more to task. Stayed in the neutral zone, but instead stuck his knee out. This has ensued.
Parker is still attempting to get at Bertuzzi as the linesmen are having a difficult time controlling Parker. Bertuzzi are still jawing away at each other, but now it appears the linesmen are going to be successful in breaking them up. This all comes with 6:51 remaining in the third period. 4-0, the Canucks lead.
I got 2 minutes for being annoying.
Well, Parker and Bertuzzi had something going earlier in the hockey game. Be restrained at the Colorado bench as he continues to yap at the Vancouver bench, and this sets up an interesting situation for the 25th of October when the Vancouver Canucks travel to Denver to take on the Avalanche.
Well, we talked about there being no bad blood between these two teams. This has developed into quite a rivalry. The Vancouver players, they really don't want to get involved in this. You want to leave the game with something in your hip pocket. Colorado, I think they're starting to recognize that they're not going to win this hockey game, so they're going to try to do anything they can to put a little bee in the bonnet of
Bergen, Colorado. Bob Hartley told us before the game today he thought we'd see kind of an all-star skills competition type game. You don't see much of that here. Not in an all-star game. Bugner and Deadmarsh head-to-head. A little brawl. Adam Deadmarsh not getting the ice time he has in years past, so this is his contribution.
Well, remember, Deadmarsh was out for an extended period of time with a concussion after a big scrap with Vancouver's Ed Jovanovski. And his first opportunity after getting back into the lineup, playing against Vancouver, he challenged Jovanovski. Went at it again, great courage. And Bugner and Deadmarsh wearing each other out a little bit. Adam Deadmarsh, of course, recently the father of twin girls. And we did that game. We were in Denver. There was St. Louis in there for that game. The game after, he left in the Calgary game, and
are on the ice, and maybe some frustration here. Dingman, Oliva, couple words. And they're clashing again.
That was Tibbetts on high note there. That was a little payback, and then Dave Reed came in, and Tibbetts.
And here they go, the big boy, Oliva and Dingman.
Oliva. You got them going all over the place here, folks. Pick your bout.
Dave Reed and Tibbetts in one brawl, and the big boys, Oliva and Dingman in the other. We got a yard sale on the ice. Sticks, gloves everywhere. Helmets on the pond as well. And they're still going at it. Long fight with Tibbetts and Dave Reed.
Well, there was an altercation at the Avs bench, and that was Ian Moran involved. He went off the ice. Olawa was looking for someone. And then shortly thereafter, Tibbetts had a hit, a payback hit on Dan Heinold. Remember in the first period, it was Heinold that hit Tibbetts from behind into the boards. And Heinold went sprawling, and then Dave Reed came to Heinold's aid. And of course, you have the heavyweights in the ice, Olawa and Dingman. They're going to square off. It's a good opportunity for them. So lots of activity going on, and you see Heinold being led to the dressing room by his trainer. And there goes Dan Heinold right now. It may have been a knee-to-knee hit, as the worried Bob Hartley looks on. And look to the right of your camera here, folks, and you'll see Tibbetts coming in, And there goes high note down. And I think it was knee on knee, and this is Dave Reed coming into Tibbetts. Dave Reed is not a guy that fights very often, so it had to have been a pretty vicious hit for Dave Reed to take exception to that. And there's Olawa and Dingman, and this is in the, just before that's the high note hit on Ian Moran. And remember, it was high note that it hit Tibbetts into the board.
Kavanaugh has.
Good opportunity. He was parked in front of Patrick Waugh again and couldn't redirect it past the Colorado goaltender. Now at center ice, we've got Barry and Morrow ready to go. Not quite sure what precipitated this, but Barry lands a couple of solid right hands and score a victory for the native of Myrtle, Manitoba. Ethan Morrow went first. And he got caught with one doing it.
No worse for wear, and you don't see that very often when the two square up and wait it out for the first punch. Not as much as you used to. And how did this start here? Let's look over here, right at the left of your brain, the big hit. And then that was Barry on Morrow. Now you'll chase him down right in the neutral zone at center ice. And away they go.
Well, they stalked each other in the neutral zone before they started trading blows, and finally Barry landed a couple of pretty good shots. And as Morrow went down, the linesman very quickly intervened. Barry got his right hand free.
And it's a good thing he missed on that one. Rick Barry was telling me this morning that his childhood idol was Paul Coffey. I don't think Paul did that.
Panier to the far side, knocked out to center ice, picked up by Heino. He comes in with Parker. Parker tried to bull his way through to the net, tried to get through the two defensemen, but it was unsuccessful.
And Parker in it again on a few of the Oilers, Brown and one of them, and now LaRocque talking to Parker. And are they going to go? Don't think so this time.
Well, the two gentlemen wearing number 27 are certainly the heavyweights of their respective teams. And if they decide to go, it'll be a good scrap. If they get a hand free and are able to throw punches right at the moment, neither man is able to free a hand. LaRocque trying to take the helmet off Parker. So far, it's a lot of grappling between these two big men. There's the helmet off, and now LaRocque is trying to do some damage with the left hand.
Parker 230, LaRocque 261. I think we could call this a heavyweight battle.
And Parker so far is being successful in tying up that left arm of George LaRocque. LaRocque tried to get it free and get some shots away, and LaRocque is still able to bang that left hand, but it's hitting the back of Parker's head. And finally, the linesmen are going to step between Parker and LaRocque.
Good respect shown between these two as they talk a bit and break it up.
2:21 remaining in the second.
Zdeno Chara. Must be hard to go wide and cut to the net against Chara because he has such a long reach with his arms and then his stick. Such a big man.
Oh, that's not like trying to go around Shell Sanderson. Never him.
Yeah, very similar. Here we go. All sorts of pushing and shoving, and some gloves flew off. Chara and Parker. Scott Parker's a genuine big tough guy. Chara's not known as a heavyweight fighter. He's a big man with a great reach. Look at him hold Parker way out. Now that is a heavyweight tilt.
Through that we've seen here. How do you score against great goaltenders? Throw it to the net, get traffic.
And
both sides have got it.
Right from the whistle, we've got something going. McCarty's going to go with Barry. The sweater pull, and there it goes.
Now, Scotty Bowman was talking about Darren McCarty and said, we don't want him to go out and fight. If someone's going to challenge him, he's going to go after him. So after scoring a goal, Barry comes at him, and it's been a busy 30 seconds or so for Darren McCarty. The highs and lows of being an NHL player. You go from celebrating to trying to survive.
McCarty gets a goal and also gets the gate.
Taste of the outdoors.
Well, you thought that, you know, maybe McCarty could enjoy the fact he picked up his third goal of the season, his second goal in his last 28 games, but Mr. Barry didn't allow him that.
Well, you can see Rick Barry, he snuck in and started jawing with McCarty. McCarty thought about joining the play and quickly just turned. They both dropped their gloves and went at it. So some jawing after that goal in front. Remember, Barry had the...
In the corner, out to Messier, up high, Skula, shot, goes wide, bounces up and over, penalty coming. And backing up, Hasek goes down, and this will draw a crowd. McCarty's in the middle.
Well, Jesse Wallen's getting the original.
Oh, now we got a fight breaking loose here. Avery.
And Dan Heinold.
And Heinold, yeah. That was away from the activity in the crease.
Well, last year, Avery in the minors in Cincy. He may not look big, but 304 minutes in penalties. So he's no stranger to this kind of action. And Dan Heinold and Avery exchanging blows. So it'll have to be interesting how this one plays itself out. Well, Jesse Wallen was getting the original in front for knocking Messier down.
And they'll sort it out. And stay tuned immediately.
In the East. Home ice all the way through if they can make it. That's the question of that Sens team, right? Success in the playoffs. Yeah. There's no doubt. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Adam Foote going at it. Sullivan is the Caps participant in the melee. Our first scrap of the night. A couple of good punches landed for each guy, too. That was just good old-fashioned toe-to-toe stuff. Brian Southerby, a young buck, obviously isn't intimidated by the guy named Adam Foote for the Colorado Avalanche. Oh, man. Southerby, a 21-year-old rookie out of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Look at the intensity on the faces of these guys. A couple of bulldogs going at it here, and they're still not done. That takes so much out of you. I mean, there's such a fatigue factor that lasts for the next at least 4 or 5 minutes of, you know, game clock time, where these guys will have to recover. But Washington Capitals and Brian Southerby will take this.
Some room for Craig Conroy. Conroy moves down, centering pass again, a quick shot, stopped by Avalanche, a rebound in front. Steven Reinprecht battling for it, a quick whistle there, and now again was going at it with Cody McCormick.
McCormick went at it in his game against Edmonton again. Colorado. Yeah, there he goes. That's his thing. He likes to get after it. Former Belleville Bull, he likes to go, and he's going against some strong people down there.
And Jerome Iginla is on the bottom of that pile. What would the Flames think about Iginla? Their top goal scorer the last couple of years, getting him so many fights early in the season.
Daryl Sutter doesn't mind it. Talking to him today, but when you talk to Alan McNeil, they love the passion, and Alan McNeil is a great hockey man. They love the passion of Jerome Iginla, and they love his determination, but they want him to be physical without having to do this. It's a good job by Craig Conroy. It all started with quick transition. Conroy drives wide on scratch pins, then a little backhand feed out to Iginla, and then you see that's where Iginla got upset. McCormick just leaned on him with the big elbow smash, a WWE elbow smash into the back turnbuckle, and now Iginla says, let's go.
So McCormick and Iginla make their way to the penalty box.
You got to marry your guy. You can't play body on body. You got to play body on stick and get in the lane. Here we go, a little action too.
Look out, this is Chris Clark and Cody McCormick.
You know what that's for?
That's Clark jumping in to defend his teammate, but you know what? Cody McCormick's doing just fine.
Cody McCormick can bring it big time. He did it against Edmonton, and he did it right here.
So the Flames are up 2-0, and they're winning the tilts as well.
And handing it in the King zone. Neteros took it as it came off the glove of Ian LaPerriere. Václav Neteros.
the middle is shot, blocked, and over in front of the bench we have LaPerriere in a scrap with DJ Smith. Smith getting his left hand free to throw some punches. He's in his 3rd year. He hasn't played all that much in the NHL before this year.
So Lappy was involved on the last exchange where penalties were called, and Ian LaPerriere trying to do what he does to get things going. He's a little upset there with the linesman that they came a little early because it looked like Smith certainly.
Hulse is just catapulted into the boards there by DeVries.
Oh, yeah. And he wants to go right now with Greg DeVries.
Now they're having words, and they are going to go.
Yeah.
They're going to settle it right here.
You know what? Greg DeVries may have made a mental judgment there saying, yeah, he's a defenseman. They're already missing Timonen. Yeah, I'll take you off for 5 minutes.
That's right.
Because there was hesitation there. Well, first of all, Cale Hulse is a pretty tough guy. And he was mad at DeVries for the original check, which I think was a fine check. I think Hulse was actually shocked at how strong Greg DeVries was on his skates, because DeVries just threw Cale Hulse into the boards. Good, smart play by Greg DeVries in this situation, by getting into it and dropping the gloves and taking 5 minutes with Cale Hulse. And Hulse probably would have been smarter to back away from this situation. Watch how the play starts when they go into the corner. Hulse knows that Seven's right with him. He tries to hit him, gets himself off balance, and DeVries just finished the check. Nothing wrong with this. Watch again. Hulse tries to get in on DeVries, and he gets himself off balance. And Greg DeVries with huge upper body strength. Now Hulse is maybe hurt a little bit. Maybe he's embarrassed a little bit. He's upset a lot. And he calls Greg DeVries on, and DeVries goes, okay, you're a D-man, let's go sit for 5.
Odgers gets a clear-cut decision. Sunday night, Nazareth has to go against Big Scotty Parker. Another, I would have to say, TKO by Parker. Hit him twice right in the beak. So Nazareth's face is really, really messed up. Back-to-back.
Green, and he just sidestepped that one enough, and an in comes.
It's a goal. They're waiting to have it reviewed, but play keeps going on.
Tipped in by Wilsey. And now we have a scrap. Parker and Ryan Vandenbush. Parker's had one fight this year, and it was a decisive victory against Nazarov of Phoenix. Vandenbush, a very smart fighter, gets a left-handed. Now Parker back with the right. More rights. Now the left by Parker. And the linesman jump in. Vandenbush, he can go, and he's cut. He is cut.
Parker is just so strong. But I'll tell you, Vandenbush has a career-ending right hand. I mean, he is he throws them hard. So Parker, I mean, that is just a battle of two heavyweights. You see right there. Now here's it back to the question of the night.
Went chipping ahead. Schminnard couldn't get to it. Now Carney plays it rink wide for Sawyer. Avalette says enough is enough, just lifts it high in the air. Now Brown and DJ Smith are tangled with one another inside the Anaheim blue line, pinned to the boards, both with a couple of rabbit punch left hands, trying to get a little room. Brown with a right hand. He's got Smith's helmet off. Now Smith gets Brown's helmet off, and he gets a couple of right hands free.
See Mike Brown trying to slip that elbow pad off as well. That means that DJ Smith won't have much to grab onto. Waiting for this with Mike Brown. Of course, with Mike Brown and Kevin Sawyer playing on the same line, the Ducks now have a 1-2 punch, no pun intended, on their fourth line.
These two have stayed pretty close to one another, not allowing either to get free. A couple of roundhouse rights from Smith that do not connect. He'll go to the left hand. A couple of, again, short rights from Brown. These two are going to be tired, Brian. And indeed they are, as the linesman will intervene. A little fracas breaking out. Mike Brown introducing himself to his teammate.
Else has to prove they're better. 3 years in a row, statistically, the best face-off man in the league, over 60%.
And this year over 62%. And he's 3 for 3 tonight. Here's a scrap. Quintal and Parker. Quintal a couple of short rights. Parker going for the big bomb. Now the uppercut by Quintal. Parker can't get the right hand loose. Now he does. One to the chest by Parker. Now he goes to the left hand. Another shot to the gut. Oh, that was a hard overhand right. And that stunned Quintal. Another right. Now he goes back to the left. Well, Parker all fight long was looking for the big bomb, and he finally connected about 60 seconds in.
Well, I'll give Quintal credit, John. He started that one. He pursued that. There is no question. Quintal is a huge guy. So it's not exactly, you know, he's not overmatching himself by going after Parker. But Quintal right here steps in, pushes. And as you said, Quintal did a great job of holding on to Punchy's right arm so he couldn't get that one free. That is a tiring way to make a living right there.
You could just see his face when the fight was over, Quintal, as he said, "Whoa, I'm glad it's over." But he, as you said, he did a great job.
Yeah, that was a heavyweight battle right there. Both these guys go 235, 240.
And they get fighting majors at 205. The Canadians lead 4-3. Now the Avs in. Tanguay in front to Chance. Tipped away. Muir gets it. Wrist shot. And that's off a leg back to center. And Cameron got his first with the Avs from Forsberg, his second at 6:15. And now we get a scrap back at center. McKay for the Canadians. And Brian Muir.
That may go back to the hit in the first period, John, where Muir hit McKay along the boards. McKay came over as a free agent this year. Of course, really made his reputation with the New Jersey Devils. Was part of a big trade that took him to Dallas last year. A lot of people wondered why he went to Montreal. Well, that's where he was born.
Yep, Montreal native. Now Muir with the right hand. And neither player has landed any kind of significant blow here. And they've been going on about 90 seconds now.
Well, with the score 4-3, John, take you back to a big moment in this game.
In my opinion, Pierre Lacroix wanted Gratton as well, and he'd been making inquiries for a couple of months anyway with Buffalo, trying to get Gratton as we see the first fight of the game. Buchberger and Parker. Parker's throwing some heavy rights.
Not sure Buchberger ever had a chance there. Buchberger in the black, Parker in the white. Right off the face-off. There's no time left on the clock. That might be the way the first period ends, with fighting majors at the 20-minute mark.
All over him. Brian Sotheby is the...
But then nobody jumped on Strudwick. Speaking of jumping, here we go.
Chris Simon and Scott Parker, they talked earlier, not this time.
Is this going to be kung fu or boxing?
They've done it before, and they have their own stances and their own approaches.
And you're saying, why are they doing this? Because that first punch can be so incredibly devastating, they don't want to walk into it.
You can win on the first one. It'll take more to win on this. But the melon of Parker is exposed. Then he comes around with a roundhouse right and some uppercuts. And the linesmen are in.
Well, they call him the sheriff here in Colorado, Scott Parker. And you see why. He takes on the big customers. He is a big man himself.
still a young guy, has a pretty good sense of when and how to do things. His team is up by 5-1, but they just got scored on. So it was actually a pretty good time for Scott Parker to go.
6th major of the year for Parker, not that we're counting.
See who he necessarily has had rivalries against. But you got to imagine this is an old one, John, because LaPerriere for the 8th consecutive year is going to go well over 100 minutes of penalties. And he and Marchment are about the same size, 2'5", 210, mean, can go. You look at Brian Marchment's numbers, he will lead the Avalanche in penalty minutes. Of course, most of those coming with the San Jose Sharks.
And you can see Marchment cut right above the lip on the right side. He got a stick the other night. And a rather nasty looking cut right above the lip. Peter, as you know, you cannot have slumps. You can't have lines that go into slumps. It's going to take a complete effort. And now we have Parker dropping the gloves with Flynn. And he gets him down. They almost went back in the second period. As we had some pushing after that last whistle, and right away the coaches put up their big guys, and Parker got the best of Flynn.
It's a very, very unusual, I don't want to say lifestyle. See Parker right up there. John, but you know, when you're a guy like Scott Parker, John, guys coming up are going to try and make a reputation by going after you. And you may only have one opportunity to go after a guy like Parker, who is top 2 or 3, John, right now?
I think without a doubt he is.
You know, you've got certainly George LaRock in Edmonton. Whew. But Parker right there with LaRock. He's had several goes. I mean, look at this. Look at the size of these guys. Used to be if you were 248 pounds, you were 40 pounds overweight.
And I'm sure you saw that in your career.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about you, but
I mean,
in my opinion, but Pierre Lacroix wanted Gratton as well, and he'd been making inquiries for a couple of months anyway with Buffalo, trying to get Gratton as we see the first fight of the game. Buchberger and Parker. Parker's throwing some heavy rights.
I'm not sure Buchberger ever had a chance there. Buchberger in the black, Parker in the white.
Conklin had to be sharp. I don't know if he was ready for the shot.
Foot and Chimera now drop the gloves. Jason Chimera trying to get the right hand free. Now he switches up to the left and delivers a couple of blows. And Foot will get the decision there, but Jason Chimera trying to spark his club as he went after Adam Foot.
A for effort for Chimera. Adam Foot's a tough player. Chimera stood right in there. When you want to win on the road, you have to stand up. You have to show your team you're ready to play. Jason Chimera does that. He doesn't have to win the fight. He has to show up.
The boards. Picked up there by Cody McCormack. And McCormack will just flip it out. Picked off by Corey Cross. He'll send it back in and take a hit from McCormack. And a little more pushing and shoving is Cross and McCormack. Now Ethan Moore on Dan Heino. 2 going on as McCormack and Cross finally hook up.
Everybody was looking at somebody else. Ethan Moore jumped in to Corey Cross's defense. McCormack was pushing and shoving with Cross. Heino was looking at Cross. Morrow came in and fought Heino. 20-year-old McCormack fights Cross. I would assume if they deem that the second altercation, those 2 will be gone from the game, which would leave the Oilers with 5 defensemen for the rest of the night.
But we talked about trying to do something to try and spark your team, and you can see Ethan Morrow and Corey Cross both are on the same page there.
McCormick steps up and gets a big hit on Corey Cross, and they have a little push as they skate away. As they get to the penalty at the player's box, as you see, you're going to take a look at the hit again from McCormick. High Note's pushing him into McCormick. Good hit. Cross gives him a little shove, and as they get back to the bench, Cross gives him a whack on the pants, which doesn't hurt. It just sounds really loud. Now High Note's looking at Cross, and here comes Ethan Morrow, who has been by far the most visible Edmonton Oiler. With a goal, he's missed a breakaway. He jumps in and gets in a fight.